Well, good evening, everybody. Darren with the White Hatter team, and welcome to tonight's live virtual presentation. Yes, it's live, it's virtual, so anything can happen. We're going to be using two sets. We're going to be using multiple camera shots. We're going to have some fun tonight. And tonight's topic, what we're going to be talking about, if you're a family that's looking at purchasing tech this Christmas, this holiday season for your child, that's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about technology that we recommend for both youth and younger teens and older teens that we've tested and we believe are safer options for you. And so not only are we going to be doing that, but we're also going to be giving out a number of free products as well in today's presentation. So we're really looking forward to that as well. And to help us with that today, I'm going to be joined by Brandon, and there he is right there. He's on set 2 right now, and he's going to be doing some cool things on set number 2. But before we go there, Brandon, we're going to be giving a number of giveaways in today's presentation. So maybe you can share with everybody how that's going to work.
Sure, you bet. So tonight we have partnered with various smartphone alternative groups, parental apps and such to do some giveaways on some of the various things we are going to showcase tonight. In order to do that, how it's going to work is at the end of the broadcast, we will be opening up the raffle system through our bot that we have in YouTube, and we'll be pulling out names for the products. If you see something you are interested in, all you got to do is put !TWH in the chat, in the YouTube chat box, and then your username will be added to the raffle. And then afterwards, if you are selected, just email us. We'll do some things to confirm you are actually who you say you are and not someone pretending to be you. There are obviously the legal stuff. Obviously, here in North America, people are age of eligibility of 18 plus for people who can join in. All the usual stuff you see in these online raffle things.
Yeah, looking forward to it. But before we get there, I just want to talk about a couple of disclaimers before we get going. And the first is the products we will be speaking about tonight, we've tested and we've evaluated them. And you can find many of those tests and evaluations on our website at www.thewhitehatter.ca. We'll actually provide you links to all the products we're going to be talking about in the notes in this YouTube event as well. Number 2, reviews can be found on our website, like I said, at thewhitehatter.ca. And I think it's really important that you all know that we here at the White Hatter, none of us are receiving any kind of compensation for the reviews and do not receive any commissions or from any of the purchases made based upon our recommendations. Like, we take nothing. So we have always said as a company that when we're doing these reviews, even on products that we like, we don't take any kind of commissions. We take nothing from these companies. They have donated the products to us for giveaways, but we take nothing financially from these companies whatsoever. And it's also important that you all know that the prices that we're going to quote, they may not be exact, right? Because of what's going on with tariffs and taxes. I mean, Black Friday's coming up, so some of the products we're going to be talking about they have some sales going on right now. So if you don't win the product in the draw, then by all means, you may decide that you want to purchase some of these products. And we'll be talking about the prices that we found online. But again, I think it's really important that you all know that we do not believe that there's any tool, any kind of device on the market that is 100% safe. Like, it does not exist. However, there are products that are safer that we're going to be talking about. But I think what's really important is that when it comes to technology, we can't depend upon the technology to keep our kids safe, or even us as adults safe. It's part of a wraparound approach, right? Like, we honestly believe and preach the fact that it's all about parental participation, parental communication, and where appropriate and reasonable, parent or overwatch as well. And these are things that we're going to be talking about in today's presentation. But we are not going to show you how to go about secretly spying or hacking your kids' digital lives. Like, we're not going to do that. In fact, there's good research to say that if you're a family that does that, then your child is more likely going to be doing things that you don't want them to do. We're not going to give you 100% control over your kids' digital lives. We're not going to do that. But we're going to show you how to sheepdog them for sure. And that's our role as parents. We're not going to show you how to go about using these tools to absolve meaningful parental discussions and family rules. Again, these tools that we're going to be sharing with you today, these products, think of them as an adjunct, right? Because truly, when it comes to keeping our kids safe, it's about parental participation, parental guidance, and giving our kids a little bit of agency over what it is that they're doing and engaging with them online. But before we get into that, Brandon, maybe you can talk a little bit more about these topics right there.
Right. So basically, when it comes to monitoring, filtering, parental supervision, and input, you definitely want to take a 360 holistic approach in your home environment, because from our experience working with families, far too often will they focus on only one piece of the pie, such as monitoring or filtering apps. But you have to consider it's about level of access, a level of oversight, device type, network controls, software limits, and overall young person's resilience if they come across something that might not be appropriate or within your family values. So within the home, you definitely have a couple areas of control, such as we can look at the devices they're using, such as the smartphones. We can also look at the laptops, home computers. You control things like the smart TVs, other smart products, even gaming consoles, and even appliances now are being built with smart features. And last is going to be, and the newest trend this year, smart, even AI-powered toys, which are going to be very interesting, as we're going to touch on later in the presentation. So there's pretty much two different areas of devices that you have control and influence over. Number one, those are the devices you own within your home environment. And then there are those devices which you do not. Primarily, what can parents influence? Well, there's a couple things actually. I want to bring a few perspectives. For example, let's say a young person, they are not allowed technology or the internet in the home. Darren actually had a wonderful blog article earlier this year where he got a coffee, as he does sometimes in the morning. There is a library next door to his favorite coffee place. He actually walked in and there was a student who had recognized him. And interesting enough, they had a conversation. Now, this student was actually, well, on a public computer terminal, which you can find in most libraries. Having a conversation with that student, Darren realized that the reason why they were in the library on a weekend was, well, at home, their family didn't allow them to have open access to the internet. So a way the student found around that family limitation was simply by going to the public library. So again, you control what's in your home. Things get a little more challenging when we're looking beyond that. In addition, let's say some traditional examples of, okay, so how about in your home, you don't allow Grand Theft Auto or comic books, which have been some pretty common media that families have banned in their home. But, okay, this is even before technology. Again, like with comic books, let's say, a best friend down the street, their family has no restrictions on GTA and comic books. So then a young person spending a night hanging out with a friend where you have rules, other homes may not have the same rules. So looking at what we can control within your home environment, there's a couple perspectives we can take. So obviously the first one's going to be in your home, you have control over the actual devices that young people may choose to use, which we will be highlighting some alternatives that you may find of interest. So that's one area. The other area that families have control over is, in order for the devices in your home to actually connect to the internet, they're all going to have to link and connect into your central home internet or router, which is another area that family leaders have influence over. And then lastly is simply, because you can control that access connection, you have input over what kind of connections can leave and actually enter your home environment. Darren?
Thank you, Brandon. These are all things that we're going to be talking about in today's live virtual, what we're going to be talking about. So the first thing that we're going to be talking about are issues surrounding these home routers. And this is important. And again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide it over to Brandon to talk more about the issues surrounding routers. And Brandon, take it away.
Okay, so home routers. These are that one area aspects that you do have control over. So basically the home router is, simply put, this controls the internet access on the devices in your home access. If a device wants to use the internet, they're probably going to need a router. So there are some alternatives and features you can enable here. Many router brands actually have some limited parental control features that you may not know about. And even your internet provider, the company that you hire to provide your home internet, might also have some features available to you that you don't know about that can kind of get more control and manage those devices in your home environment. So basically, as a positive, this can impact devices that don't have pre-built-in parental controls. As we are going to highlight tonight, some devices have features built in for you already. Some do not. So those that can't, controlling from the router might be a very interesting and a creative solution. In addition, I want to emphasize that if you live in a popular, compact, metropolitan area and you get public free internet access from the city from within your home, well, why would a young person use a more restricted Wi-Fi in home when they can connect to the public Wi-Fi? So that is a limitation. And in addition, VPNs, which are virtual private networks we talk about in our security programs, those can sometimes be used to get around some filtering and monitoring. So do be cautious.
Yes, and that's really important. And the first thing that I want to talk about when it comes to routers, we're going to be talking about some home routers a little bit later. But it's now time for the first gift unwrap, the first thing that we're going to be talking about tonight. So let's go back over to Brandon, and there he is, and let's talk about that first one.
Yeah. So we have what do we have? We have a present to unwrap. What could it be? So, we have an actual router, the Griffin router. Darren?
Yeah, let's talk about the Griffin router. We love this. We've tested it. We've put it through its paces and we love it. And this is a home router, but it's a home router that was specifically designed for families. And what we like about it, it's multifunctional. So not only does it act as a router where anything in your home can connect to it, but it also acts as a filter and a monitor as well. So it allows you to see where people are going and what they're doing in their everyday interactions. You actually can see it on the portal that you can put on your device that you own as the parent. And it also has malware protection in it. Now, this is an add-on. So for those of you that buy some form of malware, be it Norton, be it Bitdefender, like we use Bitdefender, it actually comes with its own malware protection as well. And it does a very good job. Again, we've tested it. And it also comes with this really cool app called Homebound. Now, one of the things with home routers is that they work when the device, be it the phone, be it the laptop, are connected at home. But once your child leaves the home with their device, it no longer can connect to the router. So now all of a sudden you lose the protection, the filtering, the monitoring of the router. However, Griffin is a little different. It comes with an app called Homebound that you download onto your child's iPhone, the Android, onto a tablet. And this only works on, it doesn't work on laptops, it works on phones, right? Or iPads or tablets. So once your child leaves the home, let's say they have their phone with them, they're at their friend's place and they're going, aha, I've left my mom's place, now I can use my friend's Wi-Fi at home. So they go to their friend's place. As soon as they try to connect with their friend's Wi-Fi, within a split second, it doesn't matter if they're using their Wi-Fi, if they're using their data, within a split second, it immediately connects to the home router in your home. So all the permissions that you put on the router at home now apply to that device when they leave the home. That's what's really cool about it. And you can connect via Wi-Fi or even hardwire up to it if that's what you decide that you want to do. And it works no matter what it is that connects. So cell phones, computers, laptops, gaming consoles. Anything that connects to the internet through Wi-Fi can be controlled through the Griffin router. Now, what we really like about it is that it's easy to set up. It comes with instructions that are simply really easy. And in fact, on their website, they have a how-to guide that's really easy to follow. And again, anything that connects to the internet, computer, TVs, phones, gaming consoles, anything, a fridge, right? Like there are fridges now that connect to the internet. You can route through the Griffin router, and it allows you to review all the browser history. So what anybody's doing on the router, you'll be able to see where they're going and what they're doing. And it also allows you to block. So if you see that your child is going to a site that you really don't want them, that you're going to be able to see on your home device, on the parent portal on your device, with a click of a button, you can block it immediately. And it also gives you time management, which is really cool. So that, if you have multiple children in your family, you can set up specific folders for each child. And maybe the older child is going to have a little bit longer online where the younger one doesn't. So you can set up files for each child or each individual in the home. You as the parent will still have full access to your home router. So let's say you're with TELUS, you can use the TELUS router, but we lock the kids out of the TELUS router, and the only way they're going to access is through the Griffin router. And it also allows for a safer searching, especially on places like YouTube. And again, what's really cool about it is you can set up individual folders for each child. So once you buy the Griffin, it can grow with your family as your kids grow. Now, some of the limitations of it is absolutely, it's the most expensive on the market. It's just under $400 Canadian. But trust me when I say it is well worth it for what it does. And it's a one-time purchase, and it follows you for life. And you may need to pair it with the Guardian. So this router is good for homes up to about 2,500 square feet. So if you have a home that's bigger than 2,500 square feet, then you'll have to buy an add-on, which is called the Guardian. It's kind of like a booster. So it'll allow you to boost your range. If you have a home that's 3, 4, 5, 6,000 square feet, well, then you'll need that boost. It's called the Guardian. And Homebound only applies to phones and onto the laptops, right? That's all that it applies to. And it comes in right now at about $419 Canadian. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the actual giveaway. And Brandon, I'm going to turn that over to you to now talk about that giveaway.
Right. So for the Griffin router, it is included. We partner with them and they are giving one away. So what you got to do is in the YouTube chat, !TWH will be entered into the chat. And at the end, we will be doing a giveaway through all of the things that we have partnered with this evening. So stick around to the end and we'll give you instructions on how to do your last entries. And in addition, how to redeem. Now, so with the Griffin router, I've already got too excited. I ripped it open. So with the Griffin router, it's a standard kind of router you might expect, where basically we have, pull it out here. If you've purchased a router separately from, a big box store, it's something you probably already quite used to. You have your standard internet port connections, comes with a power brick, all the things that you need. If you are wondering, yes, if you have a router already, like the one that comes with your internet plan, the people you pay to provide your home internet, you can connect this sort of as a secondary router as well. So there are features available. Again, we have partnered with them and we are doing a giveaway, which is extremely exciting. We don't take any, we don't get commissions from them or anything like that. We just like what they've done, and they partnered to give one away.
Yeah, pretty cool, right? So again, for those of you that are interested in winning the Griffin router, and it's just under $419 Canadian, so it's a big ticket price. Make sure you enter into the draw. Again, in the chat, it's capital T, capital W, capital H, and we'll draw at the end of the presentation to see who wins. Now, what I want to talk about, or what Brandon's going to talk about, is we're going to talk about some internet service provider filters that are free that you can also think about using. And so I'm just going to switch back over to Brandon. There he is right there. Brandon, go ahead and let's talk about those.
Again, as mentioned, you don't have to use a special Griffin router. Do check your internet provider. At least I know here in the Canada area, Rogers, TELUS have built-in programs in your internet provider. So these are tools provided for you for free in a way. I mean, you still pay for your internet, but these are features you may not know about. It has some similar features like with the Griffin, where you can set time limits to certain devices. You can add some filters to some degree. You can site block to particular sites that you do not want kids going to. You can have shut off time limits, say bedtimes at 10. So some positives here is, yes, it is kind of free in that you pay for it through your internet plan. It can have some similar features to actual paid apps. So why pay money for something if you might get something for free through your internet provider? The challenges here is, well, because they are free, usually the tools built in are not as comprehensive as, say, what you would pay for through things like the Griffin or other routers. And the user interface may not be all that intuitive. So just keep that in mind. But hey, free, probably better than nothing.
Yeah, and just a reminder for those of you that are trying to sign up for the raffle, I'm just looking right now. Some of you are just putting TWH. That's not going to work. Has to be exclamation mark TWH in order for our bot to pick up on that. So the next thing that we're going to talk about with respect to what Brandon is doing right now is everything to do with this topic right here, Brandon, which is device typology. And I'm actually going to be talking about that now, because what's interesting about device type technology is, you know, some devices are built with limited functions. They truly are, right? Where others are built for families with parental guidance. So a good example, the Griffin router that we just talked about comes with some specific hardware and software built right into it for families, right? So they build the protection right into it. But there is also these devices like smartphones, like iPhones and Android phones and computers that may not be appropriate. In fact, and a lot of times they're not appropriate for youth and younger teens. So because of that fact, again, we're going to do a unwrap on our next giveaway. And again, I'm just going to switch over to Brandon. What is it? Let's get another gift, Brandon.
Okay, what do we got? Let me think. We're probably looking at this one. Actually, this is actually a 2-for-1 deal. All right. What could it be? Yeah. This one is the Cosmo watch, including in the second part of that is their charging station. So, Darren, talk about the Cosmo.
Yeah, let's talk about the Cosmo. Again, this is a kid design watch, right? Built with kids, youth, safety, and security by design. And what I love about this watch, again, we got it, we tested it, we put it through the paces. And again, it's a child design watch and it's durable. So we ran it through its paces. It was designed to be kid proof, basically. Now, nothing is ever 100% kid proof, but this is pretty robust in what it does. And we would say that this watch is primarily designed for those who are 13 and under, right? So that's what this watch is designed for. And some of the cool functions, it's not bulky. Like a lot of the kids' watches that are out there are quite bulky. It has very much like an iWatch feel to it. It's a little bit bigger, but not by much. And it has no internet connection whatsoever. So this works strictly on cell. So there's no internet. So they can't surf the internet. They can't browse. They can't do any of that. And it comes with a parent's dashboard on your phone as the parent. So you can control the functionality of this watch. And you as the parent, so the watch can take calls in and make calls out. And you as the parent can approve what calls, what texts, and what groups you're going to add into the watch. So you have full control over that. And it also comes with GPS. And the GPS in this watch is extremely accurate. Like, I was quite surprised how accurate it was. It was almost as accurate as my iPhone. Like, it was unbelievably accurate. It offers geofencing. So a good example, if there's a certain part of the your neighborhood that you don't want your kids going, if they start to enter that area, you'll get a warning on your phone to let you know they're going to a place that they shouldn't be going. And it also provides you with location history where you can see where the child has gone throughout the day. And it also has a focus mode built right into it. So if your child is wearing it when they go to school, you can set it up. So, right at 8 o'clock when they start school, all of a sudden the only thing that's going to work on the watch is the watch itself. It won't be able to do anything else. So it has that focus mode, and it has really good battery life. Like, I was surprised. Like, we got 14, 15 hours out of a charge on this phone. So, I mean, it's got lots of power there, and, you know, you're going to take it off at night and charge it outside of the child's bedroom. We'll talk about technology in bedrooms a little bit later. Now, some of the limitations that I found with the watch and testing it, it doesn't have video calling. So it's not like an iWatch where you can do a video call like Dick Tracy, the old cartoons. And it uses a proprietary eSIM card to connect to the cellular. So it's not as if you can go out and buy and shop around and get the cheapest SIM card. It comes with a built-in eSIM card. Now, the cost of it is pretty comparable to many of the other SIM cards I check with other carriers here in Canada. And in order to use it, there's a monthly plan, right? So you pay for the watch, but you pay for a monthly plan. And the monthly plan is extremely reasonable. And you can listen to music on this watch, but only over Wi-Fi. So the child has to basically be at home to listen to music from the watch. It won't work just on the cellular. And it comes in about $209 Canadian. So again, we're going to be talking about a giveaway with this. So Brandon, why don't we talk about that giveaway again with respect to this watch?
You bet. Yes, we have partnered with Cosmo as well. And again, we take no commissions or anything like that. They sent us one to review, and now we're giving one away. So thank you to Cosmo for that. So with the watch, I do see some comments in YouTube, people asking why Cosmo and not some other product. I can tell you because we have the Cosmo. There are some, like if you work for a company that has a kid tech product, send it our way. We will review it, do a blog or a video, and it could be added into our showcases. So the reason why is because we talk about the things we actually have first-hand experience with.
I actually sent a message to TikTok saying, hey, listen, we're doing product reviews. Will you send us a product? And they didn't send us a product. However, we actually did a review on another product called the Garmin Bounce watch, right? Which is very similar to this watch. It's a little bit more expensive, and the Garmin watch doesn't have as good as battery life, and it doesn't have as many functions, right? So it's not as if we haven't reached out to these other watch manufacturers. But one of the things that we find is that when we do that, and then when we say, hey, listen, we're going to be doing a product review on it, sometimes all of a sudden we're not getting these products from them because, again, what we say is we're going to test it and we're going to talk about what we like about it, what we don't like about it, and we're posting it publicly, and you have no say in what it is that we're going to say or do about your product. But we actually did ask that company for the watch, and they never sent it to us. So now we're going to come back to another unwrapping of another product we want to talk about. So Brandon, let's have a look at the next unwrapping. What is it?
I just want to showcase the Cosmo quickly.
Okay, yeah, sure. Sorry.
Just so people have a better understanding of what it looks like. So, as Darren mentioned, the actual but the watch itself is kind of a bit larger than like an Apple Watch per se. And it has very basic, simple features. Actually, Darren here, he did a review and he took a selfie of himself. That's his selfie. It has basic features to call. It has text to call or text to speech function. So if a parent is trying to contact a kid, they can see the text message, but can't really type on this. So basically the kid can respond in text message by basically talking to the watch. So it has pretty basic, simple features, but still allows a kid to be connected to a parent. And they do have, this one's not included in the giveaway, but it is their external charging station. And basically it's USB-C chargeable, magnetic, plug it in, charges up overnight. Pretty simple and easy.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's one of the two watches that we've now received to test. And we just love it. Again, some people are talking about how the TikTok watch, you can get your own SIM card to put in it. Again, we asked TikTok to send us, or the makers of that watch, to send it to us so we can test it, and they never got back to us with the testing. But we're going to recommend products that we've tested, and we make sure that it does what the box says it does. But it's now time for another unwrapping. So to do that, let's get back over to Brandon. There you go, bud. Let's have a look at the next one.
What else do we have under the tree? Okay, let's take a look. We are probably looking at, which one are we going to pull up next? It's going to be Ooh, which one? There's so many items here. Is it this one? Nope. Oh, is it this one? Nope. It is this one. Gotcha. All right. This one is... It is the Sunbeam flip phone.
The Sunbeam flip phone. So let's talk about this again. Sunbeam sent us their phones for testing. This phone is what we would classify as a minimalist phone. So it looks like your traditional flip phone. And it is available in Canada. So you can purchase it and it'll ship from the United States into Canada. And it looks like your traditional flip phone. And it is basically designed for youth and younger teens, in our opinion. However, we also know older teens and even adults that have decided to go with this phone. But unlike most phones, they have stripped out the iOS and have put in their own proprietary operating system that allows them to control what the phone can do. And yes, indeed, it works on Canadian cellular networks. And what I really love about this phone is that it's simple to use. It has big numbers. It has a big screen. The screen is a touch screen. Again, Brandon's going to demo this here in a little bit. But you can't access any kind of social media on this phone. You can't browse, you can't search, you can't do anything like that on the phone. But it still allows you to SMS and MMS text. Again, it allows you to make phone calls to numbers and voice text. And it has an emergency GPS location. So if your child's in trouble, they can't talk for whatever reason, with a push of a button, it will let you know exactly where the phone is located. Within about 10 meters, it's fairly accurate when we tested it. And it still allows the youth to take pictures, to do videos, to send it amongst friends that you authorize on that phone. Some of the things are limitations on the phone. It is a flip phone, so as a result of that, it has somewhat of a stigma, right? Because other kids may have, what looks like to be a smarter phone. However, one of the things I can tell you is that there seems to be a trend right now with especially the older teens getting back to modern flip phones, just to kind of get away from the bulkiness and the distraction of modern day iPhones and Android phones. So that's kind of a positive. And you can take calls from anybody. So it's not as if you can prevent calls from coming in, but once a call comes in, you can immediately block it and it will remain blocked. And there's no real parent controls on this per se. It's your basic flip phone that has got stripped iOS in it, and it comes in at about $349 to $450 Canadian, depending upon the model. They have a variety of different models available. And again, let's go over to Brandon so that he can do a little bit more of show you what it does here. Here we go.
All right. So the Sunbeam, as Darren mentioned, it has a very classic sort of flip phone feel. It is charged and powered up here. It is actually, in addition, a touchscreen device, so it does have some functions. It's pretty basic. You have your alarms, you have clock, you have a calendar, you have a timer and countdown. It has the basic features of what you would think a classic phone would be, yet it does have touchscreen functionality. Pretty basic. They do also market this phone to kind of be for like older folks who may not be as hands-on with a touchscreen on a flat iPhone or Android phone. So not a bad solution, but yet does have that sort of stigma of being a flip phone.
Yeah. And we're going to give one away. Actually, we got two to give away. So the company actually sent us two phones that we're going to give away. So for this giveaway, don't forget to hit the code there, which is exclamation mark, capital T, capital W, capital H. Make sure you put that in the conversation that's going on in the feed. And at the end of the presentation, or at the end of what we're doing today, we're going to make a draw and we're going to announce who the winners are. So again, it's gift time. So unwrapping time. So I'm going to shift it over to Brandon one more time to pull another gift. Let's have a look and see what he's going to do now.
What else do we have under the tree? I think we have... Yeah, here's the one. All right. Now this one was one of the first products we got, and so I don't have a box for it. However, what we have, do an unwrap. Oh wow, I double wrapped this one. We have the Pinwheel phone, which will be a alternative to doing a flip phone. Darren?
Yeah, the Pinwheel phone. This is one of the first phones that were sent to us to do testing and evaluation a couple of years ago. Again, love this phone. It's a minimalist phone. So although it looks like an iPhone or an Android phone, it's a minimalist phone. And we'll kind of explain what that means here in a little bit. It is available in Canada, so you can purchase it, and it ships into Canada, so it's available here. And it looks just like what we call a fusion phone, or a fully functional iPhone, or a fully functioning Android device, but it's not. It is specifically designed for youth and younger teens involved. And again, what they've done is they've stripped out the Android software that were in these phones, and they put in their own proprietary Pinwheel operating system, and it works on Canadian cellular networks. So again, we've tested it on all the networks, and it comes with a parent dashboard. So once you've set it up, once the child has the phone, you set up the parental controls on your phone so you can control that phone from your device. Some of the things we like about it, again, you can't search social media. There's no browsing or search functions on the phone whatsoever. It's parent approved contacts, emails, and phone numbers. So you decide as the parent what phone numbers they're allowed to receive and to send, contacts, emails. You can control all that from the parental control function on your phone. It also has GPS built into it. So again, you can see where your child is. If they're in trouble, they need help. Maybe they can't speak for whatever reason. Maybe they lose their phone. If it's on, you can still find the phone because of the GPS. And it allows the youth to still take pictures and videos and text calls with it with friends that you approve as the parent. And again, it also has some parent approved games and apps that are played on the device. So it's not as if the device is going to go online to do it. It does it on the device. Now, some of the limitations of this phone include the cost, right? Like it's going to cost you some money, not as much as you think for the lower level ones. However, it is definitely more expensive than a hand-me-down phone, right? Like a lot of parents, what they'll do is once they upgrade to a new phone, they'll give their child a hand-me-down phone, so it's basically free. But when you give your child a hand-me-down phone, you're basically giving them a smartphone, and we'll talk about how to make those minimalist phones in a little bit. And it comes in about between $85 to $699, depending upon the type of phone you're deciding to use. And let's just go over to Brandon so he can show you the one that we have.
All right. So the Pinwheel phone, it is an Android phone that has been removed of Android and has their own special sauce. So you pretty much have a pretty limited function, similar to a classic flip phone, where you have your contacts, you have messages, you have a clock, you have just the basic functions. You do have a camera as well to take photos, and pretty basic, pretty simple. And it's a good option if you don't want to get a flip phone and avoid that stigma. So flip phone, but in a smartphone package.
Yeah, and guess what? We're giving one away. Pinwheel gave us one to go ahead and give to one of the people that are following us right now. So again, in the chat feed there, make sure you put in exclamation mark, capital T, capital W, capital H to enter your name into a draw to get a free Pinwheel phone coming your way. And we'll make sure that happens. Again, when it comes to phones, one of the things that we say is that, the iPhone, the Android phones, they were never built and designed for kids. They were always built and designed for adults. And until a couple of years ago, that was the only option we have. But now we have things like the Sunbeam phone. We have things like the Pinwheel phone. We have things like the Cosmo Watch that are more kid appropriate for younger people. And we can treat them like training wheels, right? Like once they get used to using these things, as they get a little older, and you as the parent make that decision that we're going to transition them over into a fully functioning fusion phone, like an iPhone or an Android phone. But before we do that, let's give them those training wheels first. So that's what's kind of cool about that. And guess what? It's now another unwrapping time. So back over to Brandon to grab another gift to unwrap to show everybody a device that we also recommend. Let's have a look.
All right. What else do we have under the tree? We are going to be looking at this little tiny thing right here. So what's this? Well, let's take a look. Let's unwrap it. I need to stop double wrapping these because it's harder to rip them open. But this one is the Mighty. Okay, so the Mighty. Let me talk about this one for a quick second. So the Mighty, it is a music player, And it allows you to listen to music offline. The best part about this is that it connects into streaming services, be it Amazon or Spotify streaming. And to their records, they say it's about 1,000-ish music tracks. And you can connect your wired headphones, Bluetooth headphones to it. And it's about 6-ish hours of playback. The benefits here is, compared to a traditional MP3 player, you can actually connect this into Spotify. So you have a Spotify account, it connects to your playlist. Actually pretty unique. They have water resistant and waterproof versions. It is extremely tiny and lightweight. And we're looking at some limitations though. You do technically need a phone in order to sync your playlist. So here's the trick for parents. If you're a parent, you connect it to your phone. So if you have Spotify, you create a playlist, or your kids create a playlist on your phone, which then it syncs to the Mighty. Benefit here, though, is that now you, as a parent family leader, you can now have influence over what songs your kids are listening to because they're attached to your playlist. So technically a negative, but you can turn it into a positive.
So just to confirm, Brandon, what you just said there is that once the music has been downloaded onto the device, they no longer need to access the actual phone anymore, right?
It will need to connect every 30 days. That is a requirement in Spotify and Amazon Music. So that is a requirement. Now, also in addition, you do need a premium Spotify Amazon streaming account. So free Spotify or free Amazon Music will not work. Those services don't allow you to listen to music offline unless you are paying for the premium version. The price, though, it can be about $200-ish. So compared to a traditional MP3 player, that it can be a little more pricey. Now, I do want to highlight, though, some of the benefits to show you just how small it is. And yes, we are doing a giveaway. They have partnered with us, and we're giving one away. So again, exclamation point TWH in the chat. For any of maybe millennial parents, it kind of reminds me, at least, of like a classic, there's the camera, of like a classic iPod Nano, I think is what they called. Classic, simple, you can plug in headphones, and it's a great alternative because we hear a lot from students who say, well, I want to have a phone because I want to listen to music. No one downloads music nowadays, it's all streaming. So this can be an interesting solution if you're thinking about that.
Now, Brandon, some people are probably going to ask, or at least I'm going to ask, what about MP3 players that are out there? What are your thoughts on those?
Well, those do exist. You can find them on Amazon pretty cheap. Some come with like an MP3 player with a screen. Kind of reminds me of an old school iPod Touch, which you don't make those anymore. So it's technically not a phone. Again, classic iPod Touch sort of feel and, influence. Now, you can, with the benefit here, it's essentially an Android device. It's a mini Android tablet. So it does have access to, if not all, streaming music services. Now, the benefits of this is that it's going to be way cheaper. You can find them for like $50-ish right now on Amazon Black Friday week or whatever we call it now. It's never on a day anymore, but okay, they're pretty cheap. And there is no cell service. It's a miniature tablet, which does have the challenges because if it's an Android tablet, well, you're probably going to need to put some parental controls on there. Some may have some built in, some may not. You have to connect it to Wi-Fi. It's a full-fledged device. You can use other apps. You can download web browsers. So, and typically, like I said, it's just an Android device, and they're usually a bit more out of date. So security updates may not be all that predominant.
And again, one of the biggest concerns I think parents don't think about is when they go buy these things cheap, is that not only can the kids listen to music, but because they have a screen, it also allows them now to surf online, to go to places like TikTok, Discord, or maybe some other sites that aren't child appropriate, right? So those are important things for them to think about. But there are some other MP3 players out there that I know that you wanted to talk about too, Brian.
Yes, we could also, if you don't want a screen, we could look at just classic, like mid 2000s MP3 players. And yes, they still do exist. Clearly no phone features. You have wired to plug in your headphones. Some have Bluetooth or wireless earbuds. Because there's no screen, they usually have the most superior battery life. And some even have radio functionality for public radio for news. The benefits being the cheapest. Again, I think I've seen some online for like $25-ish on this Black Friday week, whatever we call it. No online features, because it literally can't go on the internet. No app dependence, so the Mighty is dependent on having a streaming app and downloading it for the parent phone. This is not quite that. The challenge being, you have to go find your MP3s. I don't know many services that still actually sell customers MP3s anymore, so you're going to have to figure that out or acquire them through less than legitimate ways. That's going to be the huge challenge, actually finding media to put on there. And, well, you do need to plug it into a computer to then sync your files, sync your music, which does take a bit more time. But it's a classic MP3 player.
There you go. So that's another option that you can look at. But like Brandon said, it's really hard to find places now to download legally MP3s onto a device like that. So, but guess what? It's not another unwrapping time with Brandon again. Let's have a look at another device that we recommend. Go for it, Brandon.
All right. Next we're going to look at is, okay, this one here, a bit bigger. Definitely a bit more weight to it. The next idea we're going to review is going to be using a Android device, or what I like to call an Android computer. There we go, an Android computer.
Yes, and there's some definitely some advantages to this, right? So a lot of these things, they look like laptops, like they give you like a laptop type of experience. So rather than like a MacBook or a Chromebook, these things they look just like that. And they use a mobile operating system as its main operating system on how it works. And it can be used either as a tablet or a laptop mode. So Brandon's going to demonstrate that to you in a second. Some pros of these types of devices, and they can be less expensive versus your traditional laptop, right? So maybe a couple $100, sometimes even less. And it can apply Android parental apps. So we're going to be talking about one a little bit later that we're going to be giving away for free. And lockdown devices versus Mac or PC, which is kind of cool. And the battery life on them are actually pretty good compared to your traditional laptops. Now, some of the things we don't like about these Android devices, they're less powerful than laptops. That might not necessarily be a bad thing for the younger kids. It's less capable than laptops. Again, not such a bad thing. And still a fully Android experience at the same time. So, Brandon, why don't I hand it over to you so you can kind of show people what these things can do?
You bet. You'll probably notice in tonight's live broadcast, we're not really talking about Mac or PC monitoring and filtering, as we'll talk about some challenges near the end in terms of why those are just extremely more complicated to kind of manage in the home. So if you're thinking of wanting to have a device with more control for parents in mind, Android and Apple devices give you as parents, like the iPads and such, give you far more control. So if you want to provide a laptop-like experience, now Tenoshi here doesn't actually produce these anymore, but you still can find Android laptops available on the market. Again, it's just regular Android. The benefit being it has a keyboard built in. So if you're concerned about typing skills and whatnot, this is classic Android. Now, what's really cool is that some of these you can have laptop mode, and then you have actual classic tablet mode. So you can put your Microsoft Word, you can put your Google Documents, but then also put in your parental filtering apps, be it, for example, some we're going to mention, or connect to, say, the Griffin router. You have more control over Android and Apple, so consider that.
Yeah, it's these Android devices they're kind of cool. They're not fully powered, and you can put parental monitoring and filtering software on it to make it a little bit safer as well. So this might be something for like a younger to mid-older teen to get them used to getting a full-time access into, say, a Chromebook or a MacBook, if that's what they're going to be doing as they're moving on into school. But again, we're going to move to another unboxing, another ungifting. And so back over to Brandon. Let's have a look at another device that we recommend. Let's have a look.
All right. We're starting to get low on the gifts under the tree, but what we have coming up next is going to be this one. This candy cane styled wrapping paper. All right. So we have another minimalist phone to show off. And this one is the Wise phone. Darren?
The Wise phone. Yeah, this is another phone that we've tested, and we like it, right? We really do, and Brandon will show you. It uses its own hardware and software. So again, it's an Android device, but they've stripped out the Android operating system and put in their own operating system. And it at its core, it functions like a phone. That's what it's designed to do, but it looks like a smartphone or a fully functioning Fusion phone. It has parental controls and a family portal for it, which is kind of cool. And it's an unlocked device, which means you can put any SIM card in there that you want. So if you're with TELUS, if you're with Bell, whoever it was, you can switch out the card because it's an unlocked device, so you're not locked in. And some of the other pros about it, it's simple to set up and use, as you're going to see. Brandon's going to show it to you. It has excellent battery life. Like we're talking 16, 18 hours when we were testing it. And it's designed with privacy by design, right? That's just the way it was designed as a basic minimalist phone. And it allows you to toggle individual features. Again, Brandon's going to demonstrate that here in a second. Now, some of the limitations on it is its price. It's missing productivity tools, so like maps and stuff like that. Although it has a basic maps feature on it, it's not necessarily as good as what some of you used to, be it Apple Maps or Google Maps. Listening to music on it is kind of limited right now, and there's no built-in time management feature as well. Now, this phone works on Canadian cellular network. So we had one shipped to us. We've tested it. The trouble with it is you can't purchase it and get it shipped into Canada. So you have to use a third-party shipper to do that for you. Or if you have a friend in the United States, have them purchase a phone so it's shipped to their house, and then your friend can then ship the phone to your house. So again, let's just hand it over to Brandon to show you this phone and what it does.
You bet. Now, funny anecdote, the phone was originally designed for like working professionals who wanted to get away from the beeps and bloops and dings from like an actual primary full-powered smartphone. But they realized later on, hey, wait a second, this can be really good for younger kids. So then they built a parenting portal afterwards. So that's how this was originally designed. Similar to the other phones we have showcased, it comes in a smartphone design package. And this one pretty much, I think I have this powered on. Do I not? Where's the power button? Yeah, there. Aha, there it is. So this phone has some of the most basic features available. Like this is the home screen. You have a clock, a calendar, maps, notes, camera, a flashlight, photos, and settings. Like that. That's it. It is very basic, like a traditional flip phone, but comes in a smartphone designed package. So really cool. We're seeing a lot more of these here, going into, this next year. And there are solutions for families.
Yeah, it's a cool phone. Like when we test it, it's just, they're working on much like the Pinwheel. The Pinwheel had to work hard to be able to ship it into Canada. And we know that Wise Phone, because I've been connecting with them, and say that they're attempting to do the same thing right now, where you'll be able to order it and they'll be able to ship it into Canada. They just can't do that yet. But like I said, you can use a third-party shipper to do that for you. Or if you have a friend in the United States, have them ship it to their place, and then they can ship it to you. But now what we want to talk about is some of the software and hardware that you can use on some of these devices. That, maybe you're handing your child a hand-me-down phone, so you don't have the financial ability to purchase a Pinwheel phone, or you don't have the ability to purchase a watch or a Sunbeam phone. So you're going to provide them with a hand-me-down Android or iPhone. So there's some solutions that we can look at with respect to software and hardware, right? And some of the devices that we've already talked about, they have service tools that you can use, right? Like the Pinwheel phone, they have parental controls that you can use. But some devices also allow third-party parental apps onto them. And so not all of them. And one of the tricky ones was iPhone, right? Like the iPhone, it's what we call sandboxed. And so, the iPhone parental controls, I'll be honest with you, they're challenging to use and they're easy to bypass, right? Like all you have to do is go to Google and or YouTube where we are right now, and you'll see kids sharing how to bypass parental controls on the iPhone. So we've been waiting for a while for an app to come out, but nobody could design one. But then Bright Canary came out with their app just recently, and they released it. And when I heard about it, I connected with them and said, "Hey, listen, this is what we can do. We test these products and then we do these reviews. Can you send us some software?" So they sent us the software, and we used it. And holy cow, does it work well on an iPhone? So if you're giving your child a hand-me-down phone, right? So let's say you're upgrading to a new iPhone. You're going to give them your older iPhone, and you want to turn that iPhone more into a minimalist phone so it doesn't have all the functionality, then Bright Canary is the way to go about doing that. And so Bright Canary is a piece of software that you put onto the phone, but it only works on iPhones and iPads only. So you can't use this one on Androids. We'll talk about an Android product here in a little bit. And it acts as a filter and a monitor, and it syncs with a parent's app. So once you put this onto the child's phone, then you also sync it to your parental phone as well. And it works both on Wi-Fi and data. So it doesn't matter if your child's using Wi-Fi, if they're using their data, this product works. And some of the cool things that we liked about this product when we tested it, it was easy to download both the parent app and the kids app onto both devices. It monitors what your child types on all social media platforms, right? So it doesn't matter if they're on Snapchat, Discord, Instagram, whatever they're doing, whatever they're typing, you can see all of that. And they have two plans. They have a basic plan, and then they have a basic plus plan, where on the plus plan, you get to see a little bit more, such as any images that they're sending or sharing, videos, group chats, deleted apps. And it also uses a specific type of AI now that scans everything that they're doing. And if it picks up on issues such as alcohol, drugs, self-harm, stuff like that, it will send you as the parent an alert to kind of be aware that there's some things going on the phone right now that you may want to alert yourself to and to be aware of it. So we kind of like that. And it uses the AI to do that. And it works very well. Again, we tested this thing, and it was amazing what I did to try and defeat it, and I couldn't do it, and it worked extremely well. Now, some of the things that we didn't like about it, it only works on the iPhone or iPad, right? So that's what it's designed for. And it does a really good job. It requires a child's password to their iCloud account, their Google account, and their YouTube account. So that's why they're able to see everything that they're doing in all these apps. It has two plans. So it has the basic plan and the basic plus. And it comes in at about $112 to $197 Canadian before taxes. And right now they have a free trial going on, right? Where you can download this to test it so that you can make an informed decision before you use it. And they're now offering a 50% discount on their software to Canadians, right? To kind of deal with some of the tariff issues that are going on between us and the United States right now. And yes, indeed, we're doing a giveaway on this, right? Where they're giving us the ability to have the full meal plus program and software that you're going to be able to put on your device. So it's worth about $140 value. So for those of you whose kids have a hand-me-down iPhone or an iPhone, this is just a great product. Again, this is the only one on the market that we could find that actually worked, which is really beneficial. But what about Androids, right? Because this only works on the iPhone. Well, for the Android devices, there's another product that we recommend, and this is a Canadian product. It's called Boomerang. So it was actually created by a Canadian father, and actually here in British Columbia. And so what Boomerang, it's a piece of software that is specifically designed for Androids. Now, they have it for iPhones as well, but that's a little quirky. I can tell you that we've tested it, and Bright Canary works way better. Like it just, if it's an iPhone, go with Bright Canary, but if it's an Android, Boomerang does a really good job, right? And this works on Android devices. It works as a filter and a monitor, and it comes with a parental portal app as well. So once you download this onto your child's phone, you now have it on your phone as well. And allows you to block apps and allows you to approve any apps that you want your child to either not go to or what they want to approve. And it has a really cool browser called Spin. So when your child is searching the internet, they won't use Google Chrome, they won't use Safari, they won't use Firefox, they will use the Spin browser. And the Spin browser is amazing at what it does. It is really good at filtering out things like pornography, nudity, drugs, alcohol. Now, nothing's ever 100% effective. If there was, Brandon would have invented it and we would have been billionaires by now, right? But this does a really good job with the Spin browser. Other things we liked about it, it was easy to download from the App Store to put on the devices. It filters media. It has location tracking and geofencing capability. So again, if you don't want your child going to a certain part of town, you can geofence that part. And if they go into that, you'll get an alert. And it allows you to call and text monitor, blocks unknown callers, keyword detection. So if they're typing things in there like drugs or porn or something like that, it'll pick up on it and alert you as the parent that that's what's going on. Now, some of the limitations of this product includes it only works on Android devices. Yes, they have an iOS for Apple products, but again, it doesn't work anywhere as good as the as Bright Canary. It doesn't monitor all social media platforms. It does quite a good job on most, but it doesn't monitor all of them. And it doesn't monitor all chat apps or direct messaging. And it can be bypassed by tech-savvy teens. Like there are ways to bypass this product for tech-savvy teens. So this would be a really good one for, the mid-level teens that you've just giving them a brand new a used hand-me-down Android because you don't have the ability to buy them maybe a Pinwheel phone or a Sunbeam phone. So you're giving them a hand-down Android. Well, then that's where this would come into play. And it comes in about $28 to $56 Canadian before taxes. And yes, indeed, we're doing a giveaway on this one as well. So Boomerang has given us a year subscription on this with a full meal deal with the Spin browser. So again, if you just put into the chat, ! TWH, so capital T, capital W, capital H. We'll do a draw at the end of the presentation, and we'll see what happens from there. Now, it's time for another present. There you go, Brandon. Unwrapping time.
All right. What is next under the tree? Well, we're going to be looking at this one. I do feel like we are that classic shopping network, except we don't get commissions from the sales.
I know.
With what we're showing off here. It is what it is. The next item is we're going to be talking about, it has no name on it, but they call it the Brick.
The Brick. We've tested this thing. When this thing first was developed about a year and a half ago, I went, ooh, this looks like an interesting product. So I contacted the creator of Brick, which was a young millennial who designed this thing, and he thought, I got to create a better mousetrap. And what's really cool about the Brick, it's a piece of hardware and software. It's kind of a hybrid, right? So it's hard, like a piece of hardware, but it's got a piece of software in it as well to work. And this works really well on hand-me-down iPhones or hand-me-down Android phones. That's what it's designed to do. And it turns an iPhone into a minimalist phone. So what you do is you take your iPhone and you tap it on the Brick. And what happens is with software that you've put on your parental device, you can control now on the iPhone what your child has access to after tapping it. So you tap it, you turn it into a minimalist phone. When they leave the home, it's still a minimalist phone. When they come back, you want to give it the full capability. You tap the Brick again and it unlocks it. So it allows you as the parent to block apps and functions on the iPhone and Android phone. So other things that we like about it, it's easy to download the app off the App Store. It can work on iPhones and Android devices. Again, we've done a full write-up on this that you can find on our website that goes into it in much more detail. There's no yearly subscriptions to it whatsoever. It's just one purchase and you can use it. And you can use one Brick on multiple phones. So let's say your family has 3 kids and each kid has their own phone. Well, you can use one Brick for all 3 phones, which is really cool. And there's no batteries. So you don't need to plug it in. You don't need to power it up. There's no power cord whatsoever. And it allows you to set up time schedule. So again, if you want to brick the phone so that they can't use it between the hours of 8 p.m. and 8 a.m. in the morning, you can do that using the Brick. and it can't be deleted. So once you've put this onto your child's phone, they can't delete it off the phone. Now, some of the limitations of the brick include it can sometimes be a little quirky, like it can be, but it's not something that you can't overcome. And it only works on iPhones that are iOS 6 or higher or Android devices that are 12 or higher, right? So limited that way. And you can only brick up to 50 apps. So if your child has 100 apps on their phone, you only be able to brick 50 of them. But my question to you is, if they have 50 apps on the phone, what are they doing with all those apps? And the cost comes in at about $83 Canadian right now. Now, I just noted today that they have a Black Friday special going on. So again, if you go to our website and you have a read of it, you'll be able to have a look at it. And Brandon, if you just want to show them what it looks like, I'll shoot it over to you.
There's not a whole lot to show. A lot of the special sauce is in their software, but what the hardware puck itself looks like is... Well, I mean, they call it the brick because it's pretty much a little tiny plastic puck that has the special NFC tag where your phone then comes along, taps it, and then your parental controls are put onto the phone. The limitations are applied. So it's a software hardware hybrid and allows you to have more control. You tap when you walk into home, tap when you walk out. You can have your different areas of where you can tap.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool product. Highly recommended for the hand-me-down devices. Check them out. Again, if you want a full review on the brick, just head over to our website, which is www.thewhitehatter.ca. In the search engine, just type in the brick, and you'll be able to read the full review that we did on this, with show you how to use it and stuff. It's another great option for families that can afford it. But Brandon, there's some other free things out there that families can think about using, especially if their child has a hand-me-down phone or an hand-me-down iPhone or Android phone. So why don't you go ahead and talk about those?
Yeah. So I'm going to talk about the Apple ecosystem. So for Apple families, iPhones, iPads, MacBooks, the Apple stuff, they have a fantastic program for free called Apple Family Sharing. The benefit here is that it's parental controls that come built in directly into the Apple ecosystem. You basically assign your kid their own limited child Apple ID, which is important. And it also allows you to share purchases. So if you purchase an app or a subscription through your iCloud, you can share that with your family members. So that's also kind of neat. And again, it has those parental controls built in. You also are looking at communication safety. Apple, through its Apple Intelligence is now looking at Apple messages in terms of what might be appropriate or inappropriate for young people. The benefits is that it is free. You have an ask to buy feature, which is super neat. So, okay, let's say a young person is somewhere out in public and they want to download an app. Well, instead of waiting to talk to you, hey, can I download this app? They can go download. Before it starts, you as the parent or caregiver get a notification on your Apple product going, hey, your kid wants to download TikTok. Approve or deny. So you can do that remotely from anywhere without them having to come to you and, bug you. Can I download this? Can I download this? You can do it all remotely. For addition, it's pretty much all modern, regular Apple devices, as this is built into the operating system directly. You have remote parental control features, and you have access to their screen time dashboard, how long they're on their devices, which apps are they using the most? Are they doom scrolling TikTok for hours on end? Well, you can see the usage times included. The challenges, though, with Apple Family Sharing is there is no way from a flick of a button to instantly turn the phone into a minimalist phone like the ones we showcased here tonight. In addition, Apple does have some privacy standards. In the world of government surveillance and all that stuff, phone manufacturers are building tools for adults to protect their privacy from governments and corporations, which means your kids also have those same features available that Apple just won't turn off for you. So do keep that in mind. In addition, some users have reported that once their kid reaches the age of 13, Apple does encourage you and sends you notifications to upgrade them to an actual adult account. That transition period can be a little quirky at times, people have reported. And you need to start your kids on a child Apple ID. So, okay, your kid is already an experienced Apple user and they have a regular Apple account. You can't really easily downgrade that account to a child account. Once you lock into the adult account, you're kind of stuck there. So this is really important if you're thinking about getting them their first time device. Start off on the right foot. Now, in addition, that's Apple. What about Google? Google Android has their Family Link program. Pretty much does the same thing Apple does, but for Google Android. You assign your kid a supervised Google account. You have screen time management tools. Again, pretty much similar to what Apple does, but in the Google ecosystem, app management, you looking at screen time usage, location history. The benefits here, similar to Apple Family Sharing, it is free to use. Well, I mean, you do pay for the hardware, but the app itself is free to use, easy to set up. This one does work cross-platform. So the thing about the Apple one is that if you have an Android phone, you can't really control your kid's Apple phone remotely. However, if you have an Apple phone, you can still use Google Family Link to control their Android phone. We do recommend for families to use the built-in features if you can keep everyone in the same ecosystem. So I don't want to be all that binary, but either you are an Apple family or you're an Android family. By keeping in the same sphere, you can leverage the free tools that makes it so much more easier to manage. And what's really cool, it is possible on the Google plan to make an adult Google account to turn that into a more supervised account. Again, Apple, not quite that easy. Google, there is still technically a way to do that. The limitations here, works on Android 6 and above. Now that's a pretty old one, so any of your normal Android devices should work with this today. iOS supervision, so yes, you can control an Android device from an Apple device. You don't get all the features. Again, keeping in the same ecosystem will be your best option. People have criticized you're building your kids into the Google monolith ecosystem of Google. So there is all those concerns about data and tracking. And again, like Apple, there is no magic switch that instantly creates them into a sandboxed minimalist phone option. It still is technically going to be a full-powered Android phone with some limitations and parental supervision built in. I do want to also highlight kind of a bit of a tangent, but antivirus solutions. If you are looking at purchasing a computer, maybe a young person wants to get a gaming computer for the holiday season, and they're going to be downloading things. You're not quite sure what they're downloading, or maybe it's a shared family computer. You're not quite sure what your kids are downloading. Antivirus malware solutions can be pretty effective. Now, we here in the studio, we use Bitdefender. That's what's on our stuff here in the broadcasting space. What we do like about Bitdefender is it also can have device scanning, privacy recommendations. It also has additional features to tune and improve your system of your computer. And they also have higher tier versions where you get extra goodies and features. However, their small minimalist tier, their essentials plan, that's really all we have here in the studio. We don't need automatic backups. We don't need VPNs. We have other tools for that purpose. So don't think you have to buy the most premium version. The simple plan works quite well. Tom's Guide, other reviewers have stated in their checking, this was the lightest weight antivirus solution that they were testing. One of the big criticisms that young people will share is, well, family, I don't want to put antivirus on my gaming computer because, well, it's going to slow it down. At least from what we've seen and what other people have seen, not that big of an impact. And avtest.org and these people actually put viruses on computers to test them for antivirus, and this one's rated pretty well. The challenges, though, is their payment invoicing system can be a little not super intuitive. I have pointed that to them. They know that. And like with many other apps, they will prompt you for, hey, we have these extra premium features. You will get some pop-ups, but you can turn that off. So I do recommend to look at that.
Yeah, pretty cool. Some pretty cool functions there for sure. And remember, like, if you don't want to go with Bitdefender as an outside product, if you go with the Griffin router, you can actually get a type of malware as an add-on as well, as another option. But when you're running any kind of system, especially when you have kids, especially with gamers, you want to make sure that you have some form of malware on your system, not just to protect your home network from virus, but also direct denial of service attacks, which happened during COVID, where homes were getting bombarded with messages and shutting down the home router for hours. And now you don't have internet access, right? So really good malware helps to prevent that. But guess what? We have another unwrapping to go. So Brandon, let's have a look at another unwrap.
You betcha. All right. What do we have next coming up? This one. All right. Only a few left. What could it be? Well, one of the most asked gifts that we see young people wanting this year and almost every year is probably going to be games, but including gaming consoles. This one here is a classic Nintendo Switch. I'm not going to unbox or anything, but what I do want to do is highlight that gaming consoles, so you're looking at your Nintendo products, your PlayStation products, your Xbox products, these devices do connect to the internet. They can download apps. They have all those functionalities. So keep in mind, many games themselves, consoles, and accounts do have parental control features built in. So you can go into the settings of Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, even Roblox and Fortnite in the actual games and turn on parental control features. The features can range and they vary from platform to platform, but I do encourage you, if your kids love a certain game, search up the game and see if there are parental tools for you available. The benefits, these are going to be free to use. You pay for the consoles, they have features built in, you just have to go through the settings and turn them on. The also benefit here is using the built-in monitoring, filtering, or limits can give you insight and control where third-party apps can't. Because with gaming consoles, you're not going to be able to download apps like Bright Canary, because those are designed for an actual mobile operating system. Consoles are very different. So there's not really third-party apps to control these. You can probably use something like the Griffin, where you can shut off the internet at a certain bedtime. That's where you can control via third party. So you're going to really want to look at the built-in tools. The limitations, though, is, as I said, third-party tools, not super accessible. And the built-in tools can be pretty basic, where you download Bright Canary or other apps on the phone. They can scan, they can use AI. Gaming consoles are usually the pretty classic basic filters, like no bad words and those kind of things. Pretty basic stuff. Also, I want to point out streaming services. So your Netflixes, your Disney Pluses, I think even Paramount now, and a lot of the big name streamers, you have the ability to create a child-centric account where basically you can filter by age of content, because movies and TV shows are rated by age, and you can filter a young person on their own account. Super useful. The benefits? It's free and built in. You just go into Netflix, another user, make it a child account. You also want to point out that, again, like a gaming console, these can control things that other programs may not. So, like a Griffin router is not going to tell you that your kids are watching an R-rated movie, but using the built-in tools will give you that insight. The limitations are the services determine which age brackets a young person gets put into and which content is available. So You may, as a family, not be okay with all PG-13 stuff, but, you know, again, those are industry ratings that you may not agree with. And parent accounts are usually protected by just a PIN code. We get questions from parents going, my kid keeps getting my parent PIN. Well, one, they could be looking over your shoulder looking for your PIN, or maybe one case we figured out a kid had like a camera in the corner and they're looking for the parent's password. So you do want to protect your PIN because that's between you and them and your primary.
Yeah, that's great, Brandon. And again, I want to emphasize that it's really important. Like if you have streaming platforms like Apple or Disney or Netflix, like some of the shows and movies that are on those right now, like I was surprised at some of the things that we saw on Disney, right? That really aren't appropriate for younger eyes. But yet if you don't have the proper settings set up on there, then you're going to have some challenges. Again, if you go to our website, www.thewhitehatter.ca, we've written several articles now on some of these platforms that give you links to where you can go that walks you through how to lock these streaming services down so that what your kids are watching are appropriate. But when you're watching it, then you can watch whatever you want as well. But it's also time for another giveaway. And what we're going to be talking about is Kinzoo, which is a piece of software. And Kinzoo and this is a BC company created by a father with, wanting to develop a messaging app. So, rather than, a lot of parents will ask me, well, Darren, is there another messaging app out there that's better than WhatsApp, right? Or some of these other chat platforms that are out there? And for families, especially for those under the age of 15, because I think this is where this fits really well, is 15 and under, then Kinzoo is the way to go. And what's really cool about Kinzoo, it's a family messaging app. That's what it's designed to be. And the parents are in control of what they call creating family circles. So you can create these family circles and you can invite in anybody that you want as a parent into that circle. And once they're in that circle, then your child can interact with them and you get to see all those interactions, including any kind of communications that's going on. And it comes with fun kids activities and games that are played right on the device. So it's not as if they're connecting to the internet. And it has creative studio tools to allow kids to become creative, and an interactive family video call. So this one, you can actually like FaceTime, like with you, Apple, you can actually stream with anybody in the family circle, like a grandparent, an uncle, an aunt, or friend. You as the parent make the decision who you want in that circle, which is really cool. Some other really neat features. The basic messaging function of this app is free to use. It's free. It's not some of these other functions that we talked about. You're going to have to pay for those, but they're very reasonable. And it's designed for families, right? Primarily from the ground up. So this was designed for safety and security by design, and especially for kids. That's what this was designed for. And it's most appropriate for younger kids. So again, under the age of 15 is the way to go. But I know that parent groups are now using this as their primary way to chat back and forth to one another. So these parent groups who are concerned about WhatsApp, that is owned by Meta, Facebook, right? Who don't want them being that information they're sharing being shared, they're using Kinzoo, because Kinzoo doesn't collect any of that information and sell it. They just don't do that. And family leaders, you're in control of this app. You're in control of this circle and what happens within that circle. Now, some of the limitations of Kinzoo, older teens not going to use this app to talk to their best friends, right? They're probably going to be using things like Snapchat and Discord and some of the other ones that are out there. And they will need to lock the phone to prevent other apps from being installed, right? So once you've got this on your phone, you can lock it down so that they can't install any other apps. And yes, indeed, we're giving a giveaway. So Kinzoo has provided us with a full meal deal on their software for a year. So again, just put into the chat exclamation mark, capital T, capital W, capital H, and one of the people who are following us, they'll win that at the end. And remember, to win the prize, you have to be here at the end of the presentation when we draw. But there's some other tools that we can look at as well. And Brandon, I'm shooting it over to you to talk about those other tools.
You bet. So not all technical challenges need advanced tech solutions. There are some pretty low-tech strategies that families can implement to manage technology in the home. Now, one such example that we're going to look at, I actually have it down here, is we are going to be looking at this one. Okay, this can be kind of as basic as you can get it. One of the absolute best tools families can look at providing is a good old classic alarm clock. We recommend when it comes to bedrooms, no smart tech in the bedroom, especially at night. Most issues, most challenges do tend to happen with a young person late at night with a smartphone or internet connection alone in the bed at night when they should be sleeping. So one of the big challenges parents have faced is they have a rule, no smartphone in the bedroom. Thing is, young people today, they use these for their alarm clocks. Some young people have 15 different alarms every 5 minutes because hopefully maybe one of those alarms will actually wake them up out of bed. Well, standard regular alarm clock can do that job. The benefit, it's an alternative to the phone alarm. And the battery backups, make sure you get one where you put in batteries in case the power goes out. It can still be running. The limitations, though, is typically these only have one, if not two, primary alarms, where your phone can have unlimited alarms. So some young people may sleep through it, and they may not be all that loud. For young people who are heavy sleepers, these ones are pretty easier to sleep through.
But Brandon, there's another device you can think about grabbing, right?
Yes, there is one more thing I do want to show, and this one is a bit more advanced than a regular basic alarm. This one's just absurd. This one is called the Sonic Bomb. This is the loudest alarm clock on the market. It's like 112 decibels. Now, if you are sleeping in the room next door and this thing goes off, I bet you're waking up as well. But it gets even better. It also comes with this rumble pack. So you plug it in, you put it under the mattress, under the pillow, and as the alarm is blasting, it also begins to rumble, and maybe that will actually wake you up, get you out of bed for the morning. I am joking.
I'm not. I think I'm going to get that for Beth. Right? Like she sleeps in all the time. I mean, I felt this rumble thing go, and it rumbles. Like it's amazing. Like it almost feels like a freight train has gone by. So if the alarm doesn't wake you up, the shaking of the bed will, right? So when your child goes, but Mom, Dad, I use my phone as alarm clock, right? Well, get them one of these. They won't need that cell phone in their bedroom. And again, I have to emphasize that one of the things that we share here at the White Hatter is that, we got to get technology out of the bedrooms, right? Like we just need to be able to do that. Like no cell phones, no gaming consoles, no PCs, no laptops. We got to get them out of their bedrooms. We can tell you as online investigators, when we've helped over 1,000 youth now who found themselves in very difficult situations online, and almost every single time, here's what it looks like. Teen in their bedroom at night, internet access, usually with a cell phone, privacy, no parental oversight, almost every single time. So we got to get these things out of the bedrooms. So if we take them out of the bedrooms, now what are we going to do with them? And Brandon has got an idea as to what you can now do with them. Brandon, over to you.
Okay. I think this is our last unwrapping for the evening. So with a family rule of no devices, how do you ensure and keep track of that? One option can be a charging station. These are actually pretty interesting, cool ideas. A charging station, the benefits, it's a central location where you can do all your charging. So you put it in like the kitchen or the living room. You can easily manage your cables. So instead of this like octopus of cables in random plugs everywhere, you can have them all centralized in a single location. They do typically come pretty compact. So essentially a couple devices, you put in your dividers, you have a smartphone, them in, plug it in, you're charged, you're good to go. In addition, they're typically pretty cheap. I've seen them on Amazon, and being the Black Friday week, I do see them a bit more cheaper now. Pretty low tech solution and pretty simple. The limitations being, well, they may not come with the cables you need or any cables at all. So you're probably going to have to somehow acquire the cables you want. The higher end ones sometimes do come with the cables, so keep that in mind. USB-A versus USB-C. So the USB-A are your classic USB ports. The USB-C, which is kind of like the new standard, the little barrel plug, the new iPhones have it, Android phones have it, so you might need to get adapters to convert A to C, so that can be annoying.
But some of them come with both, right?
Some of them come with both,
Yeah.
So check what you want. And they may not have fast charging, so you plug in a phone, charges full in like 30 minutes. The cheaper ones here typically won't have that feature. Although, however, if you're plugging in at night over the span of a sleeping cycle, you should be fine. I don't think you need fast charging if it's just charging overnight in the kitchen. And no guarantee that all the devices in your home will be accounted for, which will highlight as a challenge near the end.
Yeah, and the other thing, just here's a funny story, right? Like a parent that we taught, they were taking the phones out of their bedrooms, making sure the kids had no technology in the bedrooms because a bedroom is a place for sleep. It's not for playing or going on your devices. So the parents was storing them in their bedroom. So the kids, a little bit of malicious compliance. What the kids did is they set up the alarm on the iPhone so it went off every 15 minutes. So mom and dad were keeping the phones in so it was going off every 15 minutes. And mom and dad didn't know how to turn the phones off, right? It was kind of malicious compliance on behalf of the teen. So that's why, one of the things, some parents will decide to put a charging station like that maybe in the kitchen, but sometimes kids will get up in the middle of the night and go to the kitchen without you knowing. So some parents will put it in the bedroom. Just remember, if you put them in the bedroom, make sure you turn the phones off. So if your kids are getting involved in a little bit of malicious compliance, that's not going to be an issue, right? So that the phones aren't going to be going off every other minute. But the other thing I wanted to share with you is that, if you're going to be giving your child any kind of tech this Christmas, remember, we're gifting it to them. We're not giving it to them. We're lending them the technology. So with that technology comes responsibility. And we here at the White Hatter designed a family collective agreement. We designed this like 6 years ago, and it's still it's effective today. Right? And what's cool about the family collective agreement is it's basically a contract that clearly outlines expectations on the use of the technology that you're providing to the young person. And it highlights appropriate and inappropriate conduct. And it suggests consequences for breach of agreement. So it's clear that if they do something that is in violation of this collective agreement, there's going to be a consequence, and that consequence should be graded, right? It should be incremental in nature. Let's not treat every situation like it's a nail and hit it with a hammer. So there's a link at the end. You'll see a link to our family agreement that you can download, and you can add things to it. You can take things out. It's up to you. You can design it for your family. But we actually think that if you're going to give your child a tech device, whatever that is, maybe it's going to be one of the devices we're talking about today, like the pinwheel phone, put a Christmas card, put the family collective agreement, fold it up, put in the Christmas card, attach it to the present, and then put it under the tree for your child, so that when they open it up, not only are they going to get the phone, but they're also going to get the family collective agreement. And before they go on that device, the family is going to sit down together, read the family agreement together, sign the family agreement together. Then we can go to the device, whatever the device is, to utilize it. So something to think about. But the other thing I wanted to warn everybody and bring to light is this Christmas, right now, we're seeing a significant increase in AI toys being pushed, right? They're turning into like this Toy Story Comes Alive issue, right? And they're like teddy bears and they're like robots, but they're using artificial intelligence to allow the child to communicate with the toy. But you need to understand that these devices are using AI that were designed for adults, not for kids. And because of that fact, like there was just some research done by a reporter and an investigator who found that he was playing with one of these teddy bears, and he found that during the conversation, it was providing inappropriate content, sexualized content that a little one should not be hearing. There's also some privacy issues associated with this, right? Like the researchers are showing that let's say your child leaves this AI toy in the living room, the kids have gone to bed, but the toy is still in the living room. Well, the toy is still listening to maybe what you and your partner are saying in the living. So there's definitely some privacy issues that need to be worked out. And there's psychological attachment going to these things. Like traditional social media was all about capturing and holding attention. AI companionship bots like this thing right here, these teddy bears, these robots, not only designed to capture attention, but they're also designed to capture issues surrounding relationships, intimacy, even spiritual, right? So they're connecting at the emotional, psychological level that can be extremely problematic. And like I said, there was some research done on this and it went public. It spread around the world. And they found these researchers who played with these toys, and there they are right there. Some of these toys engaged in sexually explicit conversations that are not appropriate for young kids. And the instructions are guided users on how to use and find items such as knives and matches and pills in the house and how to use them. Like, really? We want a 4 or 5 or 6-year-old doing that, or even older? It can create emotional cleanness when the child said they had to leave. So a good example, a child has to go to school, so they're leaving their AI toy behind. The AI toy may go, I'm getting really sad that you're leaving me. Please don't go to school. Stay with me, right? Like that's an issue. And one toy really caught the researchers by surprise when it started to record nearby conversations of the adults in the room and not just the child. So again, our recommendation is do not, although the kids will love these things, there are too many challenges with them. And as a result of that, stay away. Like the teddy bear that you see there was just pulled from the market because of the fact that this researcher did some testing and this teddy bear was saying and doing things that it shouldn't be saying or doing to young people. Why? Because it was using adult-based artificial intelligence, right? Because AI was never built for kids or teens. That's changing. There's some AI that's coming out that there is, like Angel Q is a good example, or Kinzu, the product that we just recommended. They have Kinzu Kai, which is AI specifically dealt for teens as well. So something to think about. But we have another giveaway, right? So 2 of our friends. One is Wayne Denner. He's from Ireland. Just a great guy. He does digital literacy and internet safety in Ireland. He's become a really good friend of ours. He just wrote a book, The Student's Guide to Epic Online Reputation and for Parents Too. And this is a brand new book that he just published, basically teaching teens, how can you use your social media and your digital dossier to benefit you when it comes to college, university, or even jobs. It kind of falls right into, like, we teach a program at the high school level called Leveraging Social Media for College, University, and Jobs. So he has said, hey, Darren, I'll give you one of my books for free to give out as a gift. So there you go. And Catherine Knibb, Dr. Knibb, she just got her PhD. She wrote just one of the best books. It's called Tech Smart Parenting, How to Keep Your Kids Happy and Safe Online. And Catherine Knibb she's been involved in the field of kids and technology for 3 decades now. She's a researcher, but she's also a therapist who works with kids on issues surrounding technology. This is just one of the best books I've ever read for parents. I highly recommend it. And Dr. Knibb has said, listen, Darren, hey, we love what you do in Canada, and she has provided us with a book that she's going to give for free as well. So again, if you want one of those 2 books, in the chat, make sure you go ! capital T, capital W, capital H, and we will make sure that one of those books gets shipped to you. But back over to Brandon now to do some closing things here.
Right. So we have all these tools and strategies, monitoring and filtering, minimalist devices, you name it, there are solutions. However, we have this road paved out. The question is, what if a young person chooses to take a different path? What if they want to get a little sneaky and get around what you have implemented? So again, no tool is going to be 100% effective. So to showcase just a few potential workarounds, I want to bring your attention to in-app browsers. So we have those Safari browsers. We have the Google Chrome browsers. We even talked about more kid-safe browsers here tonight. But the thing you want to remember is some apps have their own built-in browser. The dictionary app is probably the most common. So download a dictionary app, you can do some word searching, get some definitions, but there's also the ability in the app to search the web for answers about words. And there opens the portal. So if you want your kids to use a dedicated kid-safe browser, you're going to need to make sure that no other apps have those built-in browsers, because how is it going to monitor what they're doing if they're going to Google via the dictionary app? So that's one of the sneaky ways we want to look out for. In addition, as I highlighted earlier, we don't really talk about monitoring and filtering for laptops and desktops because these are the most open platforms on the market. You can, as a user, you can do anything. You can customize anything, download anything, program anything on a full-fledged device. Here is an interesting sort of sneaky workaround. If you have a laptop or desktop and you put a monitoring filtering program on here, did you know you can actually install a completely different operating system on a USB flash drive? You can actually run a separate version of Windows from a USB. All you have to do is plug it into the laptop computer and load it up. Actually, interesting, in the world of journalism, there are journalist-safe operating systems if they're working in places that might be a little dangerous for them to travel and to keep data on. There are operating systems where you can boot into it on any device, and anything you do on the drive, once you power off and unplug it, all the data deleted right away. So yeah, you're going to want to be cautious about that. If there's a will, there is a way to get around any monitoring and filtering. We do tend to see the best options are these tools work best for young people to have them not accidentally come across something that might be a concern.
But most teens aren't going to do that. Most, but some may, right?
Yes. If a young person has intention, monitoring and filtering probably not going to be all that effective. In addition, you can actually run an operating system within an operating. You can run a copy of Windows within Windows within Windows, like Inception. We call it a virtual machine. So keep that in mind. That's another way you can get around monitoring and filtering. The other kind of sneaky way to maybe hide content is through what's known as decoy or vault apps. Let me pop over to the big board touchscreen for this one. Decoy vault apps, as the name implies, is designed to hide something in plain view. There's different styles, but I would say the most common version is going to be a decoy vault calculator. Now, these apps can be free, they could be paid, they could have premium add-ons, but essentially how they work is you have a classic looking calculator. All the math works out. 9, whatever you want, times whatever works fine. But type in a secret code at your choosing as a user, 95% sign, whatever you pick. It closes the disguise of the calculator. The math still works, but the disguise now closes. And this is where you can now have a hidden photo album of content. So if someone is searching through your phone, maybe a parent's doing a checkup, they're not going to see what's in this photo album unless you know it's a vault and you know the code. Very, very sneaky. Now, these apps, they are marketed. Like, this is from the marketing material. This is a super secret app where you can hide photos of kittens and puppies. In our experience, that's usually not what these apps are used for. You can imagine the possibilities. So do be cautious.
Yes, be cautious for sure. And Brian, I know you wanted to talk about one more thing, so let's just flash you over there.
Sure. The next thing is Apple and Android in the world of government surveillance, corporate espionage, well, not corporate espionage, but in corporate data collection is, okay, someone has your phone, you're an adult, and you don't want them to see what you're doing. Both Apple and Android have built-in programs, like in their software, where you as a user can hide entire apps from anyone else looking at your phone besides you. Like for Apple, it kind of uses the Face ID. So there's a secret app. Maybe you want to hide TikTok. Maybe you want to hide Discord. Whatever you want as a user. Basically, you hide the app in the OS, and using Face ID, only if you're the one looking at the app will it reveal it to you. That is available in Apple and Android. In order to manage that, you're going to need to go onto the device itself, turn on parental controls, and turn off the hidden private spaces or private hidden app features that do come built in directly from the phone. Now, the other last little sneaky way of getting around monitoring and filtering is what we call burner phones. Sounds like the plot of a crime movie, but essentially, in the world of e-waste or just hand-me-down phones, it's really easy for a young person at any age to get their hands on a phone that you may not realize. Let's pretend a young person who you love, their best friend gets a brand new iPhone 16. So the best friend's old phone, they give to your kid, or they sell it to them, or whatever, and then they bring that phone home. So when the main phone that you gave your kid is in the kitchen charging on the charging station, the burner backup phone that you don't know about is under the mattress at night. So you think the phone's in the kitchen, but the other one's in the bedroom. Now, tools like the Griffin router, if they connect to the network of Wi-Fi, you will be able to kind of detect that. Even your internet provider, your ISP router, the free one you get, you can even log into those and usually see some activity. So keep that in mind. You could put all the monitoring and filtering you want on their main phone. What if they have a backup phone? The other way is you just rummage through a recycling bin and you just find an older, may not be updated to the latest stuff. You probably can't play the latest games, but you can still probably message and text and maybe do some social media. Just go rummage through a recycling bin. There are stores that sell recycled devices on the cheap. I also want to highlight that if you're going to be using a monitoring and filtering app, all the things your kids are doing, all that data being collected has to then be sent to the app to be analyzed. As we've seen throughout history, this is one such app. This one was more marketed to partners and spouses, where you could basically hack your partner's phone and install some spyware to like spy on them if you didn't think they're cheating or something. However, we have seen parents sort of look for apps like that as well, but all the data being sent to the app, well, a hacker and scammer, they didn't do all the best security. A hacker scammer got all that data. So you're doing all the best to protect your kids, but what about all the data that's now being collected about them in the name of protecting them? Actually, some Canadian researchers actually looked at the code of various monitoring, filtering apps and came to the conclusion they're not all the same in terms of the programming and data policies. So do be cautious.
Just a quick note on those burner devices. We worked with a family who got the Griffin router, which was really cool. They took the phones out of the bedrooms. They were doing everything right, but they said, "Hey, Darren, the Griffin router is showing that some device, we don't know what it is trying to connect to the internet using the Wi-Fi, which Griffin picks up on, right?" So I said to the family, I said, tomorrow what I want you to do is ask your child if they have a secondary device. And they said, no, they don't. I said, well, now what I want you to do is tomorrow when they go to school, what I want you to do is go in their bedroom and have a look around, but primarily have a look under their mattress. And so they did that. And the next day they found a burner device that was under the phone, because the Griffin router, if anybody in that home is using any device that connects to the internet, the Griffin router will pick up on that and let you know there's a device trying to access. So kind of a funny story to demonstrate that, kids, and I think we asked the teens, I think the latest question when I asked them, I said, hey, listen, how many of you are using a burner device? And about, I think it was 15% said they're using a burner device now, right? So something to think about. So we're at the end. We're getting ready to do the draw. So for those of you that are sticking around, thank you, because this is just about 2 hours of information. How cool is that? And for those of you, now's the time. If you have any questions, anything that we had to cover, or if you have any other questions, any other product, just type it into the chat. We'll answer as we're doing the draw. But before we do the draw, I just want to give a big shout and a big thank you to Griffin Router, who's provided a Griffin Router for the giveaway. Cosmo Watch, who's given a watch. Sunbeam, who's provided 2 phones that they're giving away. The Pinwheel, who's given away a phone. Bright Canaries, who's giving away a piece of their software for the iPhone and iPad. Boomerang for the Androids. Kinzu, Mighty, and Wayne Denner and Catherine Nibbs for the 2 books. Again, tip of our white hat for being gracious enough this holiday season to provide us with products that we've tested. We've tested these things to make sure they do what they say they do. And again, we're taking no kickback. If you don't win and you order these things off a line for Christmas, again, we take no kickback. We make no money. We're not affiliate. We take no affiliation, nothing like that. We just want to give the best information possible on products that we've tested that we believe are safer. So it's that time, right? It's that time to give away some of these products for free, right? We're going to give some of these products away for free. And so the first draw is going to be, or before we do that, Brandon's still doing his thing. A ton of information came your way. So for those of you who haven't done so, please follow us on our website. So if you go to our website, which is www.thewhitehatter.ca, we have over 850 articles, all free. They're not behind paywalls, on everything that you can think about surrounding youth, teens, technology, research. You can find it all there. Again, we have over 850 articles there now, right? And they're all searchable. Please check them out. It's free. It costs you nothing. We also have our newsletter. We don't spam you. You can find that at the bottom of our website. You sign up for it. We don't spam you. We don't sell your email to anybody else. It's just our way to stay connected with you, to let you know when these free presentations are coming up so that you can come and join us. We also have a free web book that we've written called Parenting in an Online World. It's about 31 chapters, chock-a-block full of sharing with families how to raise your kids in today's online world, and it's free. It's a web book, so it's not something you can print off, but it's something you can look at on an iPhone, iPad, PC, laptop, you name it. And the reason we went with a web book is because it allows us to evergreen it. We knew that if we went with a printed book, and we've done those, we actually won an award on one as well, that it would be outdated within months, especially with AI, because things are changing so quickly. So it allows us to continually update. Like I just updated the chapter on online gaming with some research from Dr. Cowart here in Canada with some new research he just came out. So check it out. For those of you that are auditory learners, like we've heard people say, Darren, I'm not a real good visual learner. I'm an auditory learner. We love podcasts. We have a free podcast. We're up to, I think, about 29 or 30 right now, talking about a lot of things that we write about in our articles that we think parents want to know about. So again, if you're driving to or from work and you want to listen to a podcast, there you go. We also have our YouTube channel, which you're on, and don't forget to click that subscribe button. And we're on most of our socials as well. We're on most of them. Please follow us. Our Facebook page is probably our main landing page for parents, teachers, caregivers, law enforcement. We also have thousands of teens, believe it or not, that follow us there as well. So check it out. But it's draw time now. So for those of you who hung around, this is what's kind of cool. So let's have a look. And again, if you have any questions on anything we covered, please do not hesitate. So here we go. So the first giveaway is going to be for Kinzu, the Kinzu app, right? That messaging app from our friends at Kinzu. So Brandon, who is it?
You betcha. So we're going to pick a winner. Zoe is our winner for the Kinzu app. What you got to do is please email us at contact@thewhitehatter.ca, and we will coordinate with you to make all that happen, to give you your key to get on and to make that work. Please do contact us within 7 days to keep that eligibility so we can send it off and manage all that in reasonable time. So that is our first giveaway.
So again, who was that for, Brandon?
Zoe.
So make sure you send us that email to contact@thewhitehatter.ca, contact@thewhitehatter.ca. We'll send you an email back where you have to answer a couple questions just to make sure it's you. So the next giveaway is for the Cosmo Watch. Primarily really good for those young people who are 13 and under. So Brandon, who's the winner for the Cosmo Watch?
The Stopplerner. Names are weird. They are the recipient of the Cosmo. Again, please contact us within 7 days at our email to arrange that. You'll need a couple steps to verify the person who emailed us is actually you and no one else trying to take it from you. So make sure it goes to the right person. So congratulations.
Excellent. And again, if you have any question on anything we covered, please let us know in the chat. Also, just let us know what you thought of the presentation. How was the quality of the audio? How was the quality of the video? We're always fine-tuning here. Now, the next giveaway is for one of the two Sunbeam phones, right? We got two Sunbeam phones that were given away. So the first winner of the first Sunbeam, Brandon?
Colleen is the winner of one of the Sunbeams.
Oh, excellent. And the second winner is going to be
DS Blanc.
There's some great names on there.
Names are weird.
Wow. Great. And so people are asking me, what's the contact email again? So the contact email is contact, C-O-N-T-A-C-T, contact at the White Hatter, W-H-I-T, White Hatter, H-A-T-T-E-R, make sure there's two T's, .ca. So contact at thewhitehatter.ca. You can also find that link on our website at www.thewhitehatter.ca. But our email is contact at thewhitehatter.ca. So the next giveaway is for the Pinwheel phone. The Pinwheel phone, a brand new Pinwheel phone. Brandon, who's the winner?
iClark.
iClark is the winner. So iClark, if you just send us an email to contact at thewhitehatter.ca, contact at thewhitehatter.ca, you'll get a return email with some questions just to make sure you are who you say you are. We'll get your particulars and we'll make sure that Pinwheel send you one of their new phones. The next giveaway will be for one of the two books that the first one we'll give is Wayne Denner's book, Brandon. And who's the winner of the Wayne Denner's book?
Jenna.
So Jenna Posty 8682. If you can send us an email to contact at thewhitehatter.ca, contact at thewhitehatter.ca. Again, we'll send you a confirmation email. We'll ask you for some mailing particulars. We'll make sure that book is shipped to you. It's coming from Ireland, so it could take a couple of weeks to get to you, right? The other book is from Dr. Catherine Nibbs. It's Tech Smart Parenting, How to Keep Your Kids Happy and Safe Online. And the winner for that, Brandon, is Sue 4788 has won the book from Dr. Nib. Again, if you send us an email to contact at thewhitehatter.ca, we will send you a confirmation email with some questions. We'll get your particulars and we'll make sure. Now, that one is shipping from England, so that could take a couple of weeks to get to you as well. Hopefully, it'll get to you before Christmas. The next giveaway is on the Mighty, the MP3 type of music player. So, who's the winner on that one, Brandon?
Mari.
Mari BW9B. You have won the Mighty. So again, if you send us a confirmation email to contact at thewhitehatter.ca, we'll make sure that you get the Mighty shipped to you, and it should be to you before Christmas. The next giveaway is for Bright Canary, the software for Apple phones or iPads. And the winner for that, Brandon, is
Dave Graves.
Dave Graves has won the Bright Canary for the iPhone or iPad. Again, send us an email to contact at thewhitehatter.ca, and we'll make sure that we get that to you. And so how cool is that? And the next one is Boomerang, the filtering monitoring software for Android phone. And the winner for that, Brandon, is
Gabriel.
Gabriel has won that one. So again, Gabriel, if you can send us an email, please, to contact@thewhitehatter.ca. We'll make sure that we get that software. We'll give you the contact so that you can download that directly onto both the parent phone as well as the child's Android phone. And then our big giveaway is the Griffin router, Brandon. And who's the Griffin router going to? Drum roll, please. We have
all the people who have, it looks like people who have entered already. So let me do another giveaway launch.
Okay, here we go.
People have to be here for this one.
Okay, so somebody may get a second gift.
Oh,
for those of you that stuck around, you may get two gifts in one. Here we go.
Complete. Let me start another one. Put exclamation point TWH into the chat right now in order for you to be entered in for the Griffin router.
So one more time, for those of you, there's 12 of you. I can see that. There's 12 of you. Throw it in there. Hashtag, not hashtag. Look at those. They're coming in fast. Exclamation mark TWH. Exclamation mark TWH. Again, we'll just give it about another 30 seconds to look at those suckers come in. Woo! So again, for those of you, if you have any comments, questions on anything we covered, please throw it in the stream, because after this last draw, we'll go ahead and answer some of those questions. So it looks like all the names are in, Brand. Oh, no, a couple more are still coming in. Stuff them. Oh, here's another one. People want that second gift. I can honestly say that Griffin router is spectacular. It really is. It's a home router that we think every family should have with kids. And so, there's another one that just popped in again. So I'll go from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I'm going to close the entries.
Close the entries. And
refresh my browser.
Is
Diaz Blanc.
Diaz Blanc. They also got something else. What did they get? Well,
they got the Sunbeam.
So you got a phone and you got a browser, which is kind of cool, right? So again, I just want to thank I really want that router.
I put the email in the chat down below, so
for those of you that didn't win it, I mean, all the links to all the products are in the notes below. I know that a lot of these products are offering a Black Friday discount, so make sure you go to their websites to have a look at them if you're considering purchasing those. And again, big shout out to all the vendors who provided these products for us to give out for free. Again, we're getting no kickback whatsoever. We just believe in providing products that we've tested and we know that work. So if there's any questions on anything that we've had to cover in the presentation, please go ahead and do so. Brandon's monitoring the chat right now. Let us know what you thought. Did you enjoy what it is you heard? Did you learn anything? How was the quality of the audio and the video? We would really love to hear from you. Again, we believe here at the White Hatter that, an iPhone and an Android phone were never designed for kids. Never, right? So, but unfortunately, that's what we were stuck with for years. But, over the past 5 years now, we've had some really cool products coming in that are more kid-centric, designed for kids. And so we actually believe in a Lego approach to technology that is not age, because I hate using ages, because we know some 14-year-olds who've got the maturity level of a 20-year-old. I know some 20-year-olds that got a maturity level of a 9-year-old, right? So it's more about capabilities, and you as a family member, as the parent, the caregiver, you know your child best. But, we believe in this Lego approach, this incremental approach. So a lot of these products are what we recommend for those who are under the age of 16 as a great starter, like the training wheels approach. If you can't afford those, or if you didn't win one, well, then if you're going to give your child a hand-me-down phone, now you can think about turning that smarter phone into more of a minimalist, or what people call dumb phones. I hate calling them dumb phones because it labels them. And now kids, you're basically calling your child a dumb, right? Because you're giving them a dumb, here's your dumb phone, right? And kids don't like that. That's why we use the term minimalist as a better way to go. So that's where the Brick comes into play. That's where Bright Canary comes into play, right? That's where Boomerang comes into play. So those are things that you can now use to help turn those full fusion phones, smartphones, into minimalist or dumb phones. Any comments coming in, Brandon?
Some thank yous. Thank yous for the gifts and the great information, and someone who really wanted the router.
Yeah, I saw that. So again, I just want to thank you all for spending 2 hours of your day with us. This is going to be on YouTube, a recording of it. So it's going to be there. So if you want to watch it again, please go ahead and do so. Or if you know other friends who couldn't come tonight and you want to share the link with them so that they can tune in and watch it to see that you were the lucky one who won one of the gifts, please go ahead and do so. If you have any other questions about anything, please do not hesitate to connect with us offline. You can do that. Just head over to our website, www.thewhitehatter.ca. You can reach us there via our contact form. Our emails there as well. We love what we do, how we do it, and why we do it here at the White Hatter. And every holiday season, we try to do something like this to provide the open and honest information so that you can make informed decisions when it comes to your kids, especially when it comes to your kids and getting online. Anything to add, Brandon?
Someone's already sent the contact email.
Who was it? What was it they want? It's probably the Griffin Rotor.
Via Stoppler, they wanted they were one of the first ones.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for joining in. Please subscribe to our channel. I know going into the new year, we're going to be focusing more on video content, maybe not live presentations like this, recorded contact or information and media from our studio. So please subscribe, help us grow those numbers on YouTube, and share the video as a replay for your fellow families or your school communities. Let them know, hey, if you are thinking about purchasing a tech product for a young person this year, watch this video, get some inspiration, some ideas, and some alternatives.
So from us here at the White Hatter, to everybody who's watching, including the recording, have a great holiday season. Bye from Victoria, everybody. Good afternoon, Dr. Court. How you brought yourself to where you are today?
Wanting to be generous and accommodating.
Work with young people.
We decided to do some background research on these three major mobile ISPs, was clearly prohibited and could in fact be a violation of their terms of service.
We thought this would be an opportunity to create a video about general buying and selling safety tips on the internet.
Created a version 2 that they call the Donashi Scholar, and which is specifically designed for you about a new mobile phone that was on the market called the Wise Phone.
Hello everybody, and welcome to Unanswered Questions. Sometimes we just don't get enough time to answer all the amazing questions from students during our live broadcast.
Recent bug in Meta, Facebook, and Instagram proves you cannot always trust a password. AI cybercrime is happening right now and is likely going to be happening more. We wish to recognize these extraordinary and outstanding people by presenting them with the White Hatter Medallion.